Hey everyone, welcome back to Superhero Bowl. I'm super excited to dive into some breaking news from the Sony CinemaCon panel. So grab your popcorn, because not only did they drop the release date for the final installment of the Spider-Verse, mark your calendars for June 4th, 2027, but we also got a huge update on Spider-Man 4. Yep, it has an official title now. So stick around as we break down what all this means for our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and the future of the web-slinger in the Marvel Universe. But before that, please like, share, and subscribe the channel. Your support means world to us. Alright, so let's jump right into it. Sony officially announced that Spider-Man 4 will be called Spider-Man Brand New Day, and it's hitting theaters on July 31st, 2026. You heard that right. Tom Holland will be back as Spidey, along with Zendaya and newcomer Sadie Sink. So those rumors about Zendaya not returning? Completely false. Now, there's been chatter about Sadie potentially being a new love interest for Peter Parker, but we know Zendaya's MJ will still play a role, despite the whole forgetting each other spell from No Way Home. It's a pretty exciting setup, right? But here's the thing. While we don't have any teasers or footage yet since filming hasn't even started, Destin Daniel Cretton, who directed Shang-Chi, is helming this one. Given his track record, I can't wait to see what he brings to the Spider-Man franchise. Now, let's dive into a fascinating aspect of Spider-Man Brand New Day, the timeline, and how it connects to the broader MCU, particularly Avengers Doomsday. Speculation is swirling that this new Spider-Man film may actually unfold simultaneously with the events of Doomsday. This is a bold narrative move and opens up a wealth of storytelling possibilities. Picture this. While the Avengers are off dealing with the epic chaos and loss that comes with Doomsday, Spider-Man is navigating his own challenges in New York City. This juxtaposition can create a unique narrative dynamic, allowing our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man to have his own arc that runs parallel to the multiverse-spanning conflicts involving the Avengers. Now, why might Tom Holland's Spider-Man not be directly involved in Doomsday, you ask? Well, there has been a lot of buzz around his busy filming schedule, with Spider-Man 4 and Odyssey taking up a significant chunk of his time. If he's balancing these two massive projects, it makes sense that his appearances in Doomsday could be limited. However, this could work in his favor by giving him a robust storyline in Brand New Day, allowing him to develop independently while the Avengers handle their own high-stakes situations. Think of the storytelling potential here. From what we know of Spider-Man, his world is often filled with personal stakes that resonate on a very human level. While the Avengers might be battling intergalactic threats, Peter Parker could be involved in a storyline focused on his past, grappling with his identity, and dealing with familiar villains like the Chameleon. This parallel timeline could serve another purpose, retaining Spider-Man's core essence while also emphasizing the looming threats in the wider MCU. If our Spidey senses are tingling, it's likely because Peter will face some real emotional hurdles during this time, with so much going on outside of his own storyline. High school drama, relationship struggles with MJ, and having to deal with a new villain in Chameleon can create tension that fans of all ages can relate to. Now, there's also the intriguing idea that some of the setups and conflicts in Spider-Man Brand New Day could intricately tie into the more significant unfolding drama of Doomsday. If we are indeed seeing the rise of Dr. Doom, how might that villain's machinations impact Peter Parker's daily life? Maybe there are new risks and dangers in the city that Spider-Man needs to respond to, potentially due to the chaos caused by Doom's own agendas. The best part about this timeline theory is that it allows for a more cohesive storytelling experience across the MCU. Marvel is known for their interconnected narratives, where threads from one film weave into the next. If Spider-Man 4 is set before the climactic events of Doomsday, it can explore themes of heroism and responsibility while hinting at the larger multiversal stakes. Imagine scenes where Peter is swinging through New York, dealing with Chameleon, and experiencing the fallout from Doomsday. Maybe he sees news reports of the Avengers in action, or perhaps he encounters characters who are feeling the impacts of their conflicts. Each moment can serve to build anticipation for the larger Marvel cinematic events, while keeping our focus on Spider-Man's personal journey. And let's not forget the most tantalizing aspect. If Spider-Man 4 does indeed leave us with unresolved threads by the end, it could set us up perfectly for a spectacular crossover scenario in Avengers Secret Wars. Having a well-developed solo film that plays out prior to these huge events means we could see familiar faces appearing where we least expect them, creating that classic Marvel synergy we all love. As we begin to consider how this timeline might unfold, it's clear that the filmmakers have a lot of creative freedom. They can have fun with Spider-Man's story while ensuring it feels compelling within the context of the ongoing Marvel saga. I can't help but feel the excitement building as we look ahead to these interconnected stories that will ultimately shape the future of the MCU. So whether Spider-Man Brand New Day immerses us in personal victories and losses, or teases larger threats from the multiverse, one thing is certain. It's going to add layers and depth to Peter Parker's journey and set the stage for what's to come in the MCU. The possibilities are endless, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Now, let's talk about something that could shake things up in a big way. Rumors are swirling that Spider-Man 4 might actually run parallel to the events of Avengers Doomsday. This has some huge implications for both films, particularly regarding why Tom Holland's Spider-Man might have a more limited role in Doomsday. You see, with Holland diving into filming for both Spider-Man 4 and the upcoming Odyssey, it opens up a unique narrative space for our favorite wall crawler. Imagine, while the Avengers are off battling cosmic threats and facing monumental stakes, Spider-Man is back in New York, tangled up in his own web of challenges and villains. It's a brilliant storytelling tactic that allows the audience to explore a more localized, character-driven story, focusing on Peter Parker's struggles amid the larger chaos facing the MCU. Now, if we consider that the villain in Spider-Man 4 is the Chameleon, it adds another layer to the narrative. The Chameleon, known for his masterful disguise and ability to impersonate other characters, could serve not only as a physical threat to Spider-Man but also introduce a psychological element. As Spider-Man navigates this villain's plot, we could see him questioning who he can trust. Are people in his life who they say they are? Maybe Chameleon impersonates friends or family, leading to some intense personal dilemmas for Peter. This would beautifully contrast with the epic battles unfolding in Doomsday, where the stakes are straightforwardly life or death. Picture this. While the Avengers are trying to stabilize the multiverse and confront their own existential threats, maybe even facing off against formidable foes like Dr. Doom, Spider-Man is caught in a web of deceit in his own neighborhood. It's a classic setup that highlights Spider-Man's role as more than just a hero. He's a young man trying to balance his personal life, relationships, and superhero duties while the world around him is unraveling. Moreover, this parallel structure allows the filmmakers to cleverly tie the storylines together without forcing Spider-Man into the core of the Doomsday conflicts. Instead, they can drop Easter eggs or hints about the greater chaos at play that ties back to the multiverse and the legendary battles occurring outside of Peter's immediate storyline. It's like giving us a dual perspective on the MCU, reinforcing the idea that each hero's journey is essential, even if they're not necessarily crossing paths at that moment. It gives viewers a sense of interconnectedness while allowing for individual exploration. Having Spider-Man 4 set during the same timeline as Doomsday also lets the writers do some creative maneuvering. They can lay the groundwork for how Peter's choices and actions in his solo film resonate with the broader conflict. For example, if he encounters Chameleon scheming in New York, are there elements of his villainy that echo what's happening on a larger scale with Dr. Doom or alternate realities? Perhaps Chameleon's plots are somehow influenced by the chaos of the multiverse, making it clear that every character's story is part of a bigger tapestry. This strategy also alleviates the pressure of having to tie every detail of Spider-Man's arc into the explosive events of Doomsday. Since Doomsday is dealing with the gravity of multiversal consequences, it frees Spider-Man 4 to explore its own themes and character development more intimately. The writers can focus on crafting a compelling story about growth, responsibility, and the personal challenges Peter Parker faces, without worrying about him needing to be the centerpiece of every massive MCU event. As fans, we know that Spider-Man's unique brand of heroism is rooted deeply in his experiences as a young adult, which is often more relatable than cosmic conflicts. Combining a street-level narrative focusing on Spider-Man's foes with the grand scale of Avengers Doomsday could highlight just how impactful Peter's story can be on a personal level, even when the stakes are higher than we've ever seen. Ultimately, this parallel storytelling approach could serve to enrich the MCU as a whole. It emphasizes the idea that while the Avengers deal with world-ending threats, life continues for our neighborhood heroes. We'll get to experience the full range of superhero storytelling, from earth-shattering battles to deeply personal struggles. And that kind of balance is exactly what keeps audiences engaged and invested in the characters we love. Now let's reflect a bit on the title, Brand New Day. This title has a nice ring to it, and brings back a sense of nostalgia for longtime fans of the Spider-Man comics. They even returned to the classic color scheme of red, blue, and yellow from the original Homecoming logo. What's intriguing is how this title seems to signify a fresh start for Peter Parker. After everything he's been through, losing his identity, navigating relationships, and dealing with powerful villains, this could be the reboot we've all been waiting for. It feels very much like a return to the roots of Spider-Man, blending old-school vibes with new narratives. With the return of familiar faces like Mary Jane and potentially the Osborns, this movie has the spirit of classic Spider-Man comics written all over it. It's an exciting time to be a Spider-Man fan. So what do you think about all this news? Are you excited about the title Spider-Man Brand New Day? How do you feel about Zendaya returning and Sadie Sink possibly joining the fray? I want to hear all your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinions are what make these discussions so much fun. Now, I want to hear your thoughts. Are you excited about the potential of Spider-Man 4 running parallel to Doomsday? What do you think about the Chameleon as a villain? Let's get the discussion going in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on everything happening in the superhero universe, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Your support helps us keep the conversation going and brings you more fantastic content from Superhero Bowl. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay heroic, everyone.